In this video, I'm going to be talking about OMAD, specifically what to do if you are already maybe underweight or not overweight, if you have a low BMI, which means that you have a low base amount of calories that you can eat and you still want to do OMAD, and maybe you just have a few pounds that you're trying to lose. You're trying to lose some belly fat or something like that, even though you're not very overweight. If you're just joining me for the first time, welcome to Bulldog Mindset. On this channel, I teach you everything that you need to know to develop the Bulldog Mindset, which is the opposite of the victim mindset. Let's dig into this, okay? And she says here, love your channel and all the videos on OMAD. I've got a whole series on that if you haven't checked it out. That should answer most of your guys' questions. This is some of the questions I didn't answer in there, but I'm adding to it. This video should be in that series as well. Okay, so she says, hope you will answer my email or make a video on this topic. I'm 5 foot female, 43 years old, and 112 pounds. Never been overweight. I'm trying to lose 4 pounds, mainly belly fat since it's considerably visible due to my petite body frame. My BMI/maintenance calorie is 1,100 a day. I've been doing OMAD for 6 weeks now, but do not see results. I'm trying eating 800 calorie a day 4 times a week. But Friday and weekend, I eat regular 3 meals. Seems like those 3 days of regular eating is making all my OMAD calorie deficits too even. Okay, that makes sense. Hence, I am just maintaining the weight and not losing it at all. It's so hard to lose weight when your BMI is low. With 800 calorie OMAD, I am not even eating/feeling that full. Any suggestions you think I should count macros? I would hate doing that. Please reply or make a video on a petite woman like me or people who want to lose a few pounds. There are thousands of YouTube videos on heavy weight loss, but rarely have seen OMAD for someone like my frame. It's a struggle and disappointing to see no results, while heavy people or most people see results so fast with OMAD. Hope to hear from you. Thanks, RuPaul. So RuPaul, here's the thing. I'm going to break this down, okay, and I'm going to talk about a few different things here, okay? So the first thing I'm going to talk about is, let's look at what's going on here. Let's analyze the situation a little bit here first, guys, okay? So 112 pounds, 5 feet tall. That's definitely short, okay? But it's still not anywhere near overweight. I would say it's still underweight, okay? But now you can be skinny to some degree and still have belly fat. Okay, that is likely to happen, and it is, it's going to be more common in men, but it will happen as a woman becomes older, especially after menopause and whatnot, and the estrogen production is lower, right? Then the body fat profile will start to look more like a man's profile. You cannot spot reduce, right? I'm sure you've heard this before. But how many pounds of weight is she going to have to lose? Okay, notice I'm not saying fat, I'm saying weight, because she can lose some muscle here as well and probably some bone density. Okay, how much pounds is she going to have to lose in order to basically lose the 4 pounds she wants off her belly? And maybe it's not all there, but to lose that amount. It's going to be enough that she's going to look like a skeleton. That's the problem here. This is the big problem, right? Because imagine if she lost 12 pounds. If she lost 12 pounds, then she would be 100 pounds. That's pretty thin. Then in losing those 12 pounds, maybe 6 of it would be fat, or 5 of it, maybe 4 of it. Really, when you're that skinny, that's more realistic in this case. And considering that she probably doesn't have a lot of muscle mass, that is going to not look good. Okay, it's going to look anorexic, and it's going to look like a Holocaust survivor, to be honest with you, okay? I'm not trying to make fun, but I'm just saying that that's what that look is going to look like. It's not going to be ideal. What needs to happen in this case? Now, I'm going to give you what I'm going to tell RuPaul to do, and then I know some of you that are watching this are not that, but you still have the same problem. Don't worry. I'm going to tell you what you can do in this case. But considering that I would already consider her underweight, okay, and where she's at, I'm not going to give her the advice I'm about to recommend after this. In this case, what I'm going to say is this: 1,100 calories a day for maintenance, that's low. 800 to be in a deficit, that's low, and it's going to be painful, and that's not much food at all, and it's going to be that's not even a big deficit. You got to be real careful with that small deficit, because you could not be hitting it. You could be hitting like a 100 calorie deficit, and it will take you, 35 days to lose 1 pound. That's insane. All right. What you want to do is you want to gain muscle. Okay. I want to see your weight actually go up. And I know that's not what you want to do, but listen to me here. The reason why is because you will develop an overall better physique by developing muscle, you'll increase your base metabolic rate, not by a huge amount, but we could probably get it up to 1,300, 1,400 a day. And then you will have the runway that you need. And that's the main concern here, in order to actually lose the weight, to lose the fat that you want, and lose that off of your stomach. Right now, like I said, if we try to just lose that now, what's going to happen is you're going to look anorexic. You're going to look malnutrition. It's not going to be healthy for you because the amount of weight that you would need to lose in order to lose the amount off of your stomach that you want. So instead, if what we do is we say, okay, instead of trying to lose, why don't we try and get you up to about 125 pounds? That's a pretty big number for you, probably, by lifting weights for maybe a year or so. Okay, or, doing some heavy, like, bodybuilding routine lifting, right? You're not going to get super big. Don't worry, you're not going to get jacked. Do some heavy squats, do some compound lifts, but that's going to be a better result, because if you do that, and you're going to gain some fat when you do that, of course, because when you gain weight, so maybe you're eating at like 1,400, 1,500 calories. First of all, you're going to feel good about that. You're going to gain some muscle, because I'm going to guess you don't have much muscle based on this. And once you get up there, even if you get to 120, right, you're not going to hopefully gain too much fat. Just try to eat fairly clean, and then we can start the cut. Okay, then we can talk about what I'm actually going to recommend to other people that aren't in this. Okay, but if you do have a low BMI. Okay, so then it's going to work better, and you're going to be in a much better position. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But trying to lose it now, not a good idea. Really not. The result is not going to be good. It's going to be too damn hard. It's just not a good idea. Here's what I would say, okay, in general, and this is what we could do with RuPaul after she gains some muscle and gains some weight, which is this. If you have a very low BMI, okay, if your maintenance calories is something like 1,100 a day, or you have to eat like 800, 700 calories, right? There's some ridiculous ones. You might as well not eat at all. That's just better, because it's going to be just as it's going to be more difficult to eat at maintenance, or with a deficit of only like 200 or 300 deficit, than it will be to just fast. You're going to lose weight faster fasting. You might as well do that. There's no reason to eat. Now, don't get me wrong. You're going to refeed, right? You're going to fast for like a day or 2 days, and then you're going to maybe go on. I would do something like OMAD, but one meal every 2 days or one meal every 3 days, even if you really want to be aggressive with it in this case. But I don't see a point in trying to maintain a calorie count, right, of 800 calories a day. That's just ridiculous. This is going to be a pain. It's not even much food at all, right? It's not worth doing, and especially when you're only going to have a deficit, in this case, of like 300 calories. So it just doesn't make sense. So better alternative is to fast. Okay, so if you're in this scenario, right, where again, this wouldn't apply to RuPaul yet in this situation, but even if she gets up to around 120, 125 pounds, her calories are not going to be, her BMI is still not going to be much more than 12 or 1,300. Now there, with an 800 calories, you have a decent deficit, but in that case, I would just fast. I would just fast for, a day, 2 days, whatever, and then eat a refeed meal, and you can eat a decent sized meal. To me, like eating an 800 calorie meal, it's just going to be teasing you, honestly. So in that kind of situation, this makes a lot more sense, right? The OMAD does work. It works great, but it works great for people that are overweight. Right? I mean, fasting works great as well, but when you're not going to be able to fast for a super long time, right? If you're trying to just lose a few pounds, all right, and you want to do it quickly, and you already have you already have a low maintenance calories, it just doesn't make sense to only have a deficit of like 100, 200, 300 per day, because it's going to be so long to lose that, in my opinion. In this case, I know there's some arguments to losing weight fast or not, but I have found as long as the protein is high, then you'll be okay. So what I would recommend, again, for those of you that are in this scenario that aren't already underweight but are just trying to lose a few pounds in this case, and you want to do OMAD and it's not working for you, is you just go to regular fasting, and when you refeed on very, very high protein. So RuPaul, I hope this helps you, and do take my advice here. Do not just start fasting at this current weight. Okay, I know you're going to be tempted to do that, but don't do that, because you're not going to like the result. and it's not going to be healthy for you. Instead, do what I'm saying. Go into the gym, start lifting some weights, fill out the frame a little bit more, get some muscle on there, up the weight. You'll also be revving up your metabolism a little bit because you probably have a metabolic adaptation that's happening that's making it even more difficult to lose weight. And click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Click that bell so you don't miss videos. I will talk to you next time. Take care.